Hi folks, how you doing? Let's keep seeing some interesting games from the 2014 Tromsø Chess Olympiad. This one was played on the 7th round of this Olympiad between Sethuraman from India with white pieces and with black pieces we had Mohammed Al Said from Qatar. I think this is a nice game and somehow instructive about development, and we're gonna see some attacking ideas here, very beautiful sacrifices. Let us see. The Indian player plays 1e4 and we get the open Sicilian after d4, take, take, reaching the classical and always popular Neither defense, you know, a favorite of players like Fischer and Kasparov throughout the history among very other world champions and GMs. Bishop g5 is, I guess, one of the main moves. Bishop e3 is the English attack. And here e6 I think is the most popular one, but of course there is zillions of pages of theory here. Knight bd7 is what black plays anyway. Bishop c4, simple developing moves, logical, putting a bishop in a very active square. And now queen b6 was played by Al Said, attacking b2. Now in this position in my database I saw that bishop b3 and queen d2 sacrificing the pawn have been tried, both strong players, but here white chose another aggressive move, sacrificing the b pawn. He just castles, improving development, and after queen takes b2, of course c3 is under attack. And now this is a very typical situation sometimes in the Neither, when black wins a pawn and white has a lot of development, and it is for him to try that. He has a crushing attack, he has at least enough compensation for the pawn. Here white plays knight d5, threatening for instance to fork on c7 the king and the rook, so kind of forcing black to take on d5. Before taking, white plays an intermediate rook b1 attacking the queen, queen c3. Now white takes on this d5, having a very active bishop here, attacking f7 for instance, b7, which is also attacked by the rook on b1, having very good development with centralized pieces like the bishop on g5, the knight on d4, certainly having enough compensation for the pawn. Meanwhile, black has only a queen on c3, somehow misplaced, and the knight on d7, which, well, is a piece, but it's blockading the bishop. On c8, the king side is paralyzed, the king in the center, so may not be very bad for black yet, but certainly I think it's much more comfortable to be white here. Black plays e6 and basically gives the pawn back on b7. Bishop takes, rook takes, and knight to c5, attacking the rook on b7. Okay, so I mean, he's playing with fire certainly in my opinion, because moving the same piece, although in this case it's justified, is because you're now attacking a rook, so you're kind of winning tempos, but it's really dangerous to play on the borderline like this, in a very dangerous position, because any bad move, any slip, and you're going down very quickly, as we saw in some other games. For instance, it went very bad for Sabino Brunello in one of the games of this Olympiad, I remember, in another Sicilian, where he suffered a very strong attack early on the game with his king in the center. So, well, so far not very bad for black, but certainly dangerous position. White has lots of active pieces and black must be careful. Black moves his knight yet another time to take another pawn. Seems black was greedy in this game to take pawns. Attacking the bishop. Okay, the bishop goes back. And yet another one move with the knight going back to f6. Still all these rooks, the king, the bishop on their starting positions. And white plays very simple moves now. Queen to f3, attacking the rook on a8, d5, and rook f to b1, having absolute control of the open file, the b file, doubling rooks, the king still in the center. Feels really very good for white. May not be really that much. The engine may say this is equal, but I can't feel how black can be happy with this position, because this is difficult to play. It's very slippery, and it's really difficult and dangerous to play like this on the edge of the really of the knife. And so there it goes. After bishop e7, trying to catch up on development, white first makes an intermediate move attacking the queen, forcing the queen to c4. Now it goes to b7, and the bishop of course would be lost if black castles, lets the bishop unprotect, so something must be done, and this is when finally it pays off for white, having the good development, etc. Black goes wrong and he plays bishop to d8, and white immediately goes with the attack, sacrificing a knight on e6. F takes, now queen to g3. White is threatening to get into g7 with the queen and supported with the rook, so of course castling is not possible. Checkmate. There is basically no way of stopping white from taking on g7 with the queen. The only way I can think of is knight h5 defending g7, but this probably is worse, because much worse, because the queen gets on d6, e6 is hanging, there is a threat of checkmate in 2 moves, getting into the 7th with the queen, bishop could go to c5, so this is an unstoppable and a very, very crushing attack for white. So, well, black has to live with this. He plays rook to f8, at least getting his rook out of the corner, and of course white takes on g7, having complete compensation, I think, for the piece. I mean, he only has 4 pieces, but all of them are very well placed. The both rooks on the open file, controlling the 7th rank, black king in the center. This is really beautiful position for white. Rook to c8 was played, and here a natural looking move like bishop takes bishop h6, sorry, threatening of course f8. By the way, it seems that it was much stronger after this move, threatening to get e6 with a checkmating attack, and the way that black may defend it with d4 attack, defending with the queen. And now bishop h6 seems it's basically over. Really an outstanding edge here for white. Black can resign. So it seems this little move order threatening e6 first was much stronger, but bishop a6 looks very natural and good as well. Black plays queen c5, defending f8, and now rook goes to e1, now attacking from the e file, the e6 unprotected pawn. White still doing very well, but rook 1 to b6 previously was much stronger indeed. And here bishop e7, absolutely, I have no idea what black should play here, humanly speaking. I mean, it's a very tough position, but bishop e7 seems a really helping white, because bishop e6, sorry, rook takes e6, and now this bishop is under heavy fire, being pinned, attacked with 3 pieces. Okay, black can play knight d7. Now this rook is not attacking anymore, but now bishop e3, kind of forcing d4. Now the bishop keeps attacking the pinned bishop on e7, and this must be already over. There are several ways of winning this, tactics everywhere. Rook f7 was played by Mohammed Al-Sayed, but now beautiful bishop takes e7, letting the queen on pre, of course. If black takes, there is a discovered check taking the queen, and this could follow like king to f7, rook e7 check, and after king whatever, I mean king f6 for instance, rook takes, if king takes, rook takes the knight with a check, being up a piece, absolutely no hope for black here. So after bishop takes e7, black just plays queen f5, defending, trying to keep pieces defended, but of course this is hopeless. After queen g8, knight f8, and bishop takes f8 check, black resigned, because this is checkmate in a couple of moves. What do you play here? If king d8, well, this is checkmate in one move, beautiful one. Bishop to e7 discovered, and double check with both the bishop, the queen, the rook is guarding here, defending, everything is connected, everything is working perfectly to checkmate black. And if the other move as queen takes e6, now the bishop once again performs the job. Bishop a3 discovered check. Black only has one move to put the rook there, but that's checkmate with queen takes f8. So there it goes, a beautiful game by the Indian Sethuraman player, rated 2590, and finally, by the way, the Indians got the bronze medal on the final standings in the open section, so good job by the Asian team in this chess tournament in Norway. Thanks for watching.